My name is Gilani. I'm the founder and chairman of Gilani Disabilities and Gilani Engineering in Australia. I'm also a VSCCS certifier, government certified for Australian government. The VSCCS stands for the Vehicle Safety and Compliance Scheme. Now what does that really stand for? That means that we inspect vehicles, we determine if vehicles are safe and legal to be on our roads or not. That is my job. That is what I do. Now why is that so important? That we determine vehicles to make sure they are safe, to inspect them, to have the right inspection system in place. Now having that kind of knowledge, having that kind of experience in assessing vehicles, now coming to Dubai wanted to become the most accessible city in the world. How did we do? I would say Dubai did amazing. Out of the infrastructure point of view, there is not many bridges that have stairs that you don't have an elevator in conjunction to it. So the accessibility out of the infrastructure point of view, truly impressive. There's a lot of more work to do for sure, so don't get me wrong. But how about the assistive technology? How about the vehicle modification? For some reason that haven't really kept up with the rest, and I was always wondering why. When I first came to Dubai a few years back, and looking around, I was not as impressed with assistive technology, with vehicles, with the wheelchair accessible taxis, and I was always wondering why. How come? Because our rulers and our leaders, they have the right intention, they have the vision, they have the goal, they have the drive, they want to do it, they want to make it happen. We have the support of our government, we have all the support we need, so why? Why did we fall behind in that aspect? Well, I was listening to His Excellency Khalfan Belhoul, CEO of the Future Foundation. And when I was listening to him, it came clear to me, the penny dropped. It needs to be all done in stages. We first need the right policies from the government to be put in place, and then everything else will fall accordingly as a domino effect. So as His Excellency was saying, you need the right infrastructure. You need to put the right policies in place at the highest level. Once that is done, it will create the right soil, the right foundation, and the companies like Gilani Mobility and the others will follow. So we are now working on a roadmap to success to make this happen. We are creating a collaboration where we can make sure that people of determination can be comfortable accessing the latest technology from around the world. Vehicles are safe, compliant, and make sure that when you call a wheelchair taxi, when you call a public transport vehicle to come and pick you up and drop you off, it meets standards. Now how can that all happen? Well, the government body will set the policy. Companies will need to follow and meet the requirements, and that is the procedure. And everyone's a winner. We all win. The government is a winner because they are gonna make sure that when our tourists, our beloved families and friends arrive in UAE, they're gonna be picked up and have access to the right vehicles, accessible public transport. Determination. The main focus are the winners here. As the policies are in place, they will be picked up by vehicles that comply to internationally high set standards. The vehicles are safe, they are being tested and approved, which is very important. The companies have guidelines on how to make all of this happen as well. So we all become winners. So as you see, it all follows the simple steps. Now, is there a lot of work that needs to be done? Yes. Do we need to reinvent the wheel? No. A lot of these things have already been done in the rest of the world. It's already been done. It's been done in Europe. It's been done in Australia. I've been operating my business in Australia for over a decade. It's all been done there. In 2000, Olympic Games in Sydney sparked off the Australian government to send out a message and to request all taxi operators, we need more wheelchair accessible vehicles on the road. These vehicles need to be ready for the Olympic Games. This was 23 years ago. All the companies followed. The taxi operators quickly went to find out how they can make that happen. Olympic Games occurred and there was a lot of wheelchair accessible vehicles on the road. 2014, the Australian government realized that there is a lot of vehicles on the road that are not really satisfying the market. Someone is complaining, I did have this situation when I got into my taxi, the roof was too low, the vehicle was this, the vehicle was like that, so the government adapted the requirements. Now they implemented the PRISM. The PRISM is referred to as a wheelchair accessible taxi space standard, which means they just looked at the average person in a wheelchair. Some people are shorter, some people are taller. If I book a taxi, no matter if I'm short or tall, I will jump into the taxi. But if I'm in a wheelchair, I need to make sure I have the right space. I need to make sure I have the right clearance. I shouldn't have to call and request and inform them I am this size or that size. No. So the government of Australia determined that 99% of the population in wheelchair will be comfortable if the vehicle meets certain requirements. 1.5 meter in height, 1.3 meter in length, and 0.8 meter in width. Cover 98 or 99% of the population in wheelchairs. This became standard for public transport. Did that work out well? Yes. How did they implement it? Did they affect the market? Did they affect their environment? No. They worked out a way where it can be done without any damage. As of this year, all new vehicles need to comply to the new standards. The old vehicles can maintain and continue to operate on the road for as long as they are allowed to be on the road. 5 years. A wheelchair accessible vehicle in Australia have a lifespan of 5 years. After the 5 years is done, the vehicle is too old to continue on the road. So they gave the companies notice, they gave them plenty of time to make sure all the new vehicles you put on the road meet the standards. This is very important. This is very, very important. This is how it can be done. Now, why am I mentioning Australia? Because that's where my experience comes from. But why is it so important to mention examples like this? Because we do not need to reinvent the wheel. We can look at what has been done in the rest of the world, learn from their mistakes. Some ways they implemented was maybe not the way, it caused some hiccups in the way it was implemented. We can learn from the rest of the world, right? No need to reinvent the wheel. We can do it better. Because they already gone through the hassle, they've gone through the headache, they've gone through the suffering. We can simply look at that, a buffet of options already been done. Pick and choose the best and do it better. We can together make it even better here. We can pioneer the future. So this is what it's all about. We can do it all together. Now, vehicle modification and access solution, assistive technology, that's one aspect to it. Now, also mention something else very important to all of you, and that is how is assistive technology really prescribed in this region? Again, example from Australia. We utilized occupational therapists that prescribes the right assistive technology solution. Me as a mechanical engineer, I'm not fit to recommend the right seating solution, not to recommend the right sling or hoist. This is the job of a healthcare professional. Now, we have been operating here in Dubai in Mall for 1.5 years, and I have had so many people saying, you have been working in this industry for a long time, what do you recommend for my son? What do you recommend for my daughter? Father need this wheelchair, is it good for him or not? The OTs are not being utilized properly in this region. So what is the roadmap to success within that space? Well, again, the puzzles need to be put together. It's all a domino effect. We have now opened a training center in Garhoud, Aspire Solutions, which aims to upskill occupational therapists. Now, this needs to be done on a global scale. This is not something to be done by a training center or two. This is something that gotta come from above. This is something that gotta come from the government. It's very crucial to upskill the OTs. Now, what do I mean by upskilling OTs? OTs are not qualified, they're not educated. Absolutely they are, and a lot of them are very experienced. However, new technology is being put forward every day. The OTs need to have access to the latest technology. They need to know what is out there. How can I look after my clients, make sure that they have the best solution at hand? Well, they need to know that. They need to be informed. And who is the right people to inform them? The companies are introducing the technology. We need to come together. The OTs need a place to go to see and learn the latest technology that is being launched. They need to know how to then recommend or to determine if this wheelchair, electric wheelchair, transfer solution, cushion, ceiling hoist, vehicle modification is suitable for this individual. They can only do so if they know how to access the latest technology and know how to determine if it's suitable. This is also crucial. So we are trying to push this forward by providing a few puzzles to make this happen. All we can do is allow the OTs to have access to our technology through our centers. They can come there, they can learn, they can touch the cushioning, understand the pros and cons, because it's so much better to prevent pressure soreness than to try to attend to it once it's too late. It's painful and it's expensive. So why not work on prevention? That's what should be done. And this is the OT's job. But they cannot do their job unless they get the right support. And this support got to come from the companies. Now I've been working in this space for over 18 years now. And when we develop new technology, we listen to people in need. And I'm going to tell you a story. I had a lot of people coming to me saying, Ray, we're sick of ramps. Everywhere we go, there's ramps. Is there a way I can get into my vehicle without ramps? With this kind of approach of trying to look at the people in need and finding the right solution, technology will rise. There are vehicles out there that have no ramps. There's new technology without ramps. There's platforms. There's so much out there, but the health need to have an access to all of this knowledge. Now I would, in the end here, just want to thank everyone for being here today, for listening to what I had to say. I hope to reach out to the right people, to join my venture in making sure that UAE become pioneers and leaders in assistive technology, leading the way of how we meet our families, but also our visitors internationally. As they arrive and they have seen higher standards from the rest of the world, they arrive here just as impressed they are with everything else that UAE have done. Let's make sure we are as impressive in assistive technology, public transport, and everything else that we do. Thank you.